Over the past 5 days, I've been attempting to create a replica of the Sphere in Las Vegas in Planet Coaster 2, and I have to be honest, this project has been the most insane thing I've ever built. Today is a great day because it is the very last building episode. That is right, today we are going to finish all details of our Sphere, from the outdoor plazas to the fancy restaurants to the really annoying filling in walls and roofs. Whether it's sexy or not, it's got to get done, and we're going to get it all done today. By the time we are done today, we will have over 60 hours of total build time and 116,000 total pieces, and I could not be more proud of this project. I'm excited to show you guys episode 6. Let's get started. Today is our final detailed day. The first thing I wanted to take care of was the outside of the Sphere. I wanted to construct a nice outdoor plaza with fountains and plenty of path space for guests to walk around before they head inside. I wanted to create a giant circular path, but because this project is so huge, a fully scaled circular path on Planet Coaster 2 is minuscule compared to what we actually want, so I used one layer of the exosphere as a guide for the perfect circle, and I scaled it up and down multiple times to build our paths and fountains. And I decided on using this globe statue as a representation of how we started this project in episode 1. Our initial blueprint of the Sphere was a giant brown pumpkin made of thousands of brown cardboard pieces, and I thought this was a fantastic representation of our humble beginnings. After our fountain was complete, it was time to do a ton of pathing using our circle template. Then after that, I extended the path layout to create quite a large walking area. This area also is above our monorail, so I needed to make sure the monorail had plenty of space and wasn't clipping through paths or terrain or anything like that. Lights are also a necessity here, so I made sure to add plenty of lights to light up the plaza at night, and from there it was really a lot of landscaping. Plenty of bushes kind of filling in the space, and a lot of different types of palm trees to add really nice depth. Filling in this outdoor scenery took me back to the city skyline days. I used to love detailing my cities with a ton of bushes and trees just like this. My only gripe is how the trees in this game sway back and forth. It really does not look good at all, and I'm actually surprised they haven't been patched yet. Nonetheless, the outdoor plaza was looking beautiful and really starting to look pretty awesome. After building the plaza entry outdoor area, I slowly detailed my way towards the monorail station, and that would kind of be the endpoint of the outdoor detailing. I noticed the first time I watched the Jared Owen video we've been referencing all series long that there was a door with steps in the pedestrian bridge leading down to the west entrance, and so this path and door was kind of always in the long-term plans. Next, I started placing text all over the exterior, labeling each entrance and really adding personality and realism to the build. The water I used to build the fountain with the brown globe was a pool, and I used another pool as strictly a scenery piece and a nice filler with plenty of big rocks to look like a natural pond. Since this series ended up being 6 episodes long, I placed 6 screens along the large circular path in front of the west entrance, each one displaying the thumbnail from a different episode in this series. I really wanted to continue to dedicate this entire plaza to the origin and history of this build, so this was really cool for me personally to go back and, see what I accomplished with this. And I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope it can be maybe a little bit of inspiration in your next build. Plenty of tall orange rocks. It was starting to look like Radiator Springs, but it looked great. And in the second fountain, I wanted to add just one more element of this YouTube channel. So I used white cardboard pieces to assemble the Time to Cook chef hat. A little unorthodox, I know, but at the end of the day, I loved the way it looked. Next, I added this screen with the Sphere logo on it. Please don't sue me, Sphere people. To finish this outdoor area, then we'll go inside, I promise. I placed more giant rocks and palm trees surrounding the entire monorail station, really filling it in nicely. Our Sphere now looks so matured and established with all of this scenery. It's amazing, I love it. And it was time to start heading inside. We still have a ton of detailing to do in this episode. I didn't even plan to build all of that outdoor area, but I just felt inspired to go all out. Next, I went inside the plaza entrance right before the moment the guests go up the escalators and see the atrium for the first time, and I wanted to fill this space with some more historic context just to kind of add to the lore. So I added a few screenshots of our journey throughout the build. You know, I always appreciate seeing construction photos of skyscrapers and really cool structures like the sphere, so these were perfect. Next, I wanted to add the full detail inside the monorail station. We had to knock out all of our entrances first, in terms of detailing, and then work our way inside. So I started with putting security check signs in front of the metal detectors. Then, in honor of Jared Owen's Sphere video we've been referencing this entire time, you know, I wanted to let it play inside the station on a giant screen. I thought it would look really cool and pay homage to Jared's work and the video. He did a great job and it was really helpful. Please don't sue me, Jared Owen. By the way, I want to mention plans for this video. This is the last video of this build series, but next will be the full walkthrough tour, accompanied by the full Wizard of Oz film that we edited. It's going to be on our giant screen. We'll see it all. We'll see everything. So make sure you are subscribed and are on the lookout for that video. As I got further into detailing the entrances, I wanted to make our metal detectors a little more realistic. So I added 2 of these red lights on each one. This was simple, but it worked and they looked so much better. Back in episode 4, we built the basics of the west entrance on the event level of the sphere. This is the main entry guests use when they're heading straight to the event level, seating for concerts and live shows on the floor. The layout I created down here was completely different from the real layout. I did go rogue. I wanted to create my own cool area. The first thing I built down here was a small burger joint called The Pit. The theming is grungy rock, and what's really interesting about this area is that it has the lowest ceiling in the entire build. I wanted it to feel like you're not even inside the sphere, more like a rock band's basement. And with that being said, let's take a break and see what we built so far. Next on the agenda was adding escalator details to the stairs in the Plaza entry. I added more of our previously built pink LED strips on the outside of each loop in the atrium. And in a previous episode, we built the Pizza Pie restaurant, which is the only restaurant currently in our sphere. And it was time for restaurant number 2. I had a strong vision for this one, and we had plenty of space next to the pedestrian bridge entry. And so I wanted to make a nice sit-down restaurant. This is where guests can go and have a good meal or maybe a few drinks before they head to their seats to watch the show. And as I mentioned before, all restaurants and shops and stuff inside the real sphere are a little boring, so I'm taking complete creative liberty and building my own brands and menus and everything else. And so this one is called Low Frequency. Its centerpiece is the logo at the bar. There are plenty of yellow lights. Most of them are actually underground facing up, which gives the place a nice glow. This is the spot guests can enter from the monorail station and really catch a nice vibe. This restaurant also has a really cool open view of, you know, the pink LED strips and guests walking by from the different levels of the atrium, not to mention the beautiful yellow rings hanging from the ceiling. This is a place I would take my wife to go eat and have a few drinks if it existed in real life. Nice and open, cool vibes, cool plants, romantic lighting. I love what Low Frequency does to complement the space in our atrium. Of course, we had to build a menu with the Low Frequency logo and color scheme on it, as well as a black and yellow marble host stand where guests can check in, and Low Frequency was open for business. Next, I needed to add 2 more escalators because guests really had no way to access the lower suite level and upper suite level, so I made sure to dupe our existing escalators and connect one from the atrium to the lower suite level, and then another one from the lower suite level to the upper suite level, and at this point, all 7 floors were accessible. Then I added a couple more pillars to the outside loops to make sure that they were structurally supported. This obviously is all about aesthetics, but we need as much realism as possible. With all 3 entrances complete, my goal now that I was inside was to build 1 floor at a time, really focusing here on finishing the main level. So I added guest services and bathrooms and first aid and a lot of things that are actually present in the sphere. We still had a ton of empty space in here, so it was time to fill it all in. Next order of business was to add signs at the bottom of each escalator to let guests know which escalator goes to each floor. We have 7 escalators and 3 on the main level alone, so direction is imperative. Then it was time to get started with our gift shop. Since we have a lot of extra room behind the walls of the atrium and gift shop, I decided on a little extra surprise in the future, and this will be an entirely new video. We will be creating a roller coaster that will have its entrance here in the gift shop called Sphere NATO, and my plans are to have it both inside the sphere, kind of weaving through the walls, and in the basement on the event level, and we'll have some cool surprises with that. After this series, we'll be doing other series, of course, but we will keep making Sphere videos, roller coasters, water slides. Let me know what you would like to see in the comments below. With the rest of the gift shop, which we are calling the Vault, nothing crazy here, just a few generic souvenir pieces here and there, but I wanted the focus to really be on our Sphere-themed beach balls. With these beach balls, the Sphere is awake, eyes wide open, and by the way, yes, I am still planning on waking the Sphere up outside and having a new animation on the Exosphere, so keep an eye out for that as well. I think it's going to turn out great, but I'm a little nervous. It will be a massive challenge because triggers and platforms are already tricky, and with the scale of the objects moving around, it will not be easy, but I'm still excited nonetheless. Next up was our third restaurant inside the Sphere. This one is right next door to Pizza Pie, and we are doing Chinese cuisine here. The name of it is called Sphere 8. Obviously, the number 8 is very important in China, so this name was pretty simple yet intriguing. Strong color scheme here with two big screens on the walls. One explains the importance of the number 8 in Chinese culture, and the other is a beautiful backdrop of the Great Wall of China. And just like that, Sphere 8 was ready to go. Now that I was mostly done with the main level, I actually decided to go up to the top two floors, the lower and upper gallery level. These areas are a lot smaller and would take a lot less time. One tedious part with both of these levels was placing all the walls and roofs to close everything off, but once I did that, both levels were starting to look smooth. On the upper gallery level, I began restaurant number 4. Since it's on the top level, I decided to call it the Peak. This one is really meant to be quite exclusive, one of those places with just a few things on the menu at insane prices. This is different from Low Frequency because Low Frequency is more public facing, more affordable, and has a bigger menu. The inspiration behind this was like on cruise ships. There's usually that cream of the crop dining option guests have to make a reservation for. These tables are made of clay, so they aren't actually sittable, but I wanted to try something different here, and it turned out okay. I had a couple more restaurants to build, but before that, I wanted to get this section number detailing out of the way. I started with the 400s, then moved my way down. This was one of those things I was putting off for too long, so I knew I just had to buckle down and get it done. We are so close to finishing at this point, and honestly, I was getting pretty exhausted. This build has been insane, but I wanted to go out with a bang and build our last two restaurants. It's actually really kind of two restaurants in one. On the left, we have a coffee shop called The Roast, and on the right, an ice cream spot called The Scoop. Their logos are very similar. Really, only difference here are the colors on each side. The Roast is shades of orange, brown, and red, while the Scoop is a light blue and white. I was trying to come up with a cool idea for our last restaurant, but realized everyone loves coffee and ice cream, and both of those were missing, and the two go so well together. So this concept is really cool. It's actually something I would consider doing again in another build series sometime, maybe like a mall or something. I added two really big graphics on each side of the room and used the same 3D element strategy we used for our Emerald City picture point down in the atrium. For the Roast, we are using coal pieces, and for the Scoop, a lot of snow pieces. This is probably my favorite restaurant in the Sphere, and I love the theming. Time for the finishing stretch. I added the entrance signs for each of our 16 total suites, added another first aid station on the terrace level. Then I realized the escalators would look so much better if they were black. This is a no-brainer I should have thought about a long time ago, but they look a lot better now. And I've been saying I was going to try to fix some of the ugly black lines on the Sphere, especially at night, but realized it's pretty much impossible and way too time consuming, so we'll stick with what we have. I still love the way it's looking. I did patch it a little bit, but we'll have to accept it. In preparation for the full tour video where we'll be watching the 2-minute Oz film, I tried my best to get rid of the black lines on the 6 screens, but since the screens are curved, some black lines at different angles are persistent. Originally, I wanted to show the film with all triggered effects from one of the suites, but the higher the better so we can see the entire screen. So I decided to build this floating platform where we will watch the film right above section 400. The platforms remind me of one of the levels in Super Mario 64. There's no way for the guests to get up here. It's just for us, and this is definitely the best view. Finally, I moved all of our triggered effects up to our new platform, and the very final piece was creating the directory graphic. These are surrounded by green lights throughout all 7 floors and let the guests know which sections and restaurants are on each level. After I spread these throughout the sphere, we were done. Thank you so much for watching this episode and watching the entire series if you were able to do so. Make sure you subscribe, be on the lookout for the next video. We're going to do the full tour, and then we're going to watch the Oz film, and we have a lot of future plans, not only with the Sphere, but I have another series cooking up, and I'm super excited about that. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.